Well, good to have you here. I'll start with a short introduction of us and what we do. Then you can take over to guide us through NetAlly and what you do. And well, most of our customers here know us. We're Vmood. We are a distributor mostly of Ubiquity, but we also do some other products like Cambium and Microtik, Alta Labs, and now also NetAlly. Yeah, we've chosen NetAlly as one of our partners because it just makes sense with our business. We sell a lot of network equipment and access points and stuff like that. So we've gotten the question over the last few years a couple of times about your products. So our boss Krijn reached out to you guys to see if there was a partnership possible, and we are very glad to see that the partnership was possible and that we are now ready to sell your products.
I have one small remark in between. It shows Kees and Chris as Geert-Jan Naberman. However, Geert-Jan is on holiday right now, so don't get confused by the name.
He's enjoying some real snow.
Yeah, exactly.
He's skiing for a week, so yeah. But we are using his account because he set up the meeting. So indeed, I'm Kees. This is Chris. He's interning it with us, and he's also doing some market research about NetAlly and how to position it in the market. So he's joining us in this presentation to see some more of NetAlly and see what we do.
Fantastic.
I just have a quick question as well. Can our viewers use the chat function? In case you have questions or something, it's always good to be able to use the chat. Oh, okay, I see some replies. Okay, perfect. So in case you have any questions, just type it in chat.
Please do, and feel free to actually interrupt me as well if you'd like, because I'm sure I've got a lot to say. So happy to be interrupted and take a break as well. But yeah, questions in the chat, and we can wait to the end. That also works. So either or, no problem from my standpoint.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Cheers. Is it over to me, or you guys got some more to say as well?
No, we can hand it over to you, and then.
Just one more thing is, I think this is being recorded. Is that okay with you? Do you have any sensitive information to share that you do not want?
No.
Okay,
all fine on my part.
Okay, perfect.
Brilliant, fantastic.
Over to you then. Thank
you. Cheers for having me. And yeah, the first point, I am actually Dan Brunswick. No name changes here. It's a quick introduction. My name, is Daniel Brunswick. I am the EMEA Channel Account Manager here at NetAlly. I have been here for 3.5 years now, so I should know a thing or two around NetAlly and how we can complement Wimood's stack, but then your guys' stack as well, joining us today. So as mentioned, very complementary, extra revenue stream. We are networking through and through. As the name suggests, NetAlly. So a bit American, but we are your ally. We are your friend. So I'll jump into the presentation today. I'll also do a small live demo on some of the product features, just to give a little bit more than high level. I see a hand up already. Fire away, please, John.
Well. Sorry, there was no question from my side. So.
No worries. No problem. So what I'll do, I'll jump into it then. So do let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. And we want to go into here. Now should be full screen, right, guys?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Brilliant. So NetAlly, who are we? What do we do? So you may have heard, you may have seen, but we are a portfolio of handheld, wired, wireless test analysis and validation network testing tools. And we also now cover cybersecurity for the networking edge. So yes, why is that important for you guys and your customers? Well, as mentioned, we're very complementary to networking. We're there kind of in these three key pillars that we mentioned to add to your existing portfolio and existing network infrastructure. We want to make it simple for your customers or for your own engineers to reduce the complexity of a network and ensure consistency across your network. So as you know, there's many vendors. We've mentioned a few today: Ubiquiti, Ruckus, Juniper, Cisco, right? The list goes on. All have different management platforms. Then on top of that, you've got wireless access points, you've got clients, you've got switches, you've got servers, you've got firewalls, right? So testing these different areas of a network can be complicated. There can be many portals, and you might not necessarily be getting consistent live real-time information. So we want to make that simple. We want to give you guys a tool that you can walk on site, connect to a network either through a wired copper fiber connection or a wireless connection, and get real-time click of a button 20-second results. And again, that will cover everything from your wired up to 10 gig. We will be moving into 100 gig later this year, and we also do up to wireless 7 platforms as well. So want to make it simple, one tool, one device to give you extra visibility. So moving on to the next point, visibility, efficient problem solving. I mentioned all the key components, as you know, of a network, lots of different areas, lots of different reasons that a network could have downtime, could have interference. That, of course, impacts how businesses operate. And the costs are, you know, waste of time, waste of revenue, waste of cost, headaches, not being proactive, right? So we, again, want to make you guys proactive, want to make your customers proactive in solving these issues. And a big part of that is visibility. So again, we want to be extra on-site, live, real-time visibility to the management platforms that you already have with the likes of Ubiquiti and Unify. So our tools act as essentially a data collection tool on-site from where the end user client sits. We're not on a ceiling, we're not on a wall. We are live, walking around, passive and active, using many different discovery protocols like CDP, LDP, SNMP, EDP. If there's an IP address, we will be able to locate that device, again, whether it's an access point, a switch, a server, a laptop, mobile device, the list goes on. We will find that, give visibility, and we'll actually produce a topology map for you as well, which I'll show later on. But this is, of course, is important because that extra real-time live visibility that you're getting on our device and in the topology map can then be integrated and used with the information that you're getting from your current management platforms to find things that shouldn't be there. So is there a rogue access point? Is there a rogue device? And that kind of leads into the cybersecurity piece that we offer as well with the vulnerability assessments that we can do. And then collaboration. These devices, many engineers, many different sites. So these devices can be shipped, they can be shared, or you can have a device per location. And any test that's physically run on the device will go into our Link Live platform. So we do have a cloud platform as well. So the engineers on the ground collecting the data can then shoot the test results up into the cloud. And that's where you'll have further dashboards, better analysis, better reporting to, again, pinpoint any key issues that may be on your network. So again, simplicity, visibility, collaboration, effectively finding issues, locating issues, and having visibility into your network to solve those problems quickly, all from one location. So many engineers, different sites, and it all goes into one place. So a network manager or whoever else can assess that data and effectively help the engineers solve that problem as well. So that's very quickly kind of who we are, what we do in a simple format. Look, we have 30 years of innovation. We've been NetAlly for around 9 years now, but you may have heard of Fluke Networks and NetScout Systems. So we did start all the way back in 1993 with the LAN meter, and the big tool that many of you still use and customers still use would be our Link Runner series. So the 1000, 2000, that was a copper fiber testing troubleshooting device, and we have now new iterations of that device here at NetAlly, the 3000 and 4000. But why did we move from Fluke? Well, they're cable testing, right? We wanted to move away. We wanted to be a network validation network tester, not just a cable tester. So that's when we moved into NetScout. We started to develop wireless testing and troubleshooting tools with the AirCheck. And then we moved to NetAlly. So we're now privately funded. Our portfolio will continue to expand every year. Like I mentioned, we've got 100 gig testing on the wired side. We now do wireless 7 testing, and we can do network edge vulnerability assessments as well with the cyber scope. So we are a network validation troubleshooting testing tool, not just a wireless, not just a cable. We are a network tool. And this is the portfolio, guys. So nice and easy for your customers to manage, for you to manage. And I think the main reason here is we have a tool for every product and every situation and every price point. So as I've mentioned before, we split it into 3 very easy key areas. We've got cybersecurity at the top. We then have your copper fiber 10 gig testing solutions on the wide side, on the left-hand side of the screen. And then we have the wireless solutions as well on the right-hand side of the screen, which again is Wi-Fi 7. So speaking to customers and asking what their needs are, if they need a tool for visibility and doing network edge vulnerability assessments, so they need to know if there's rogue devices in their network, if any of their switches are open, if their firewalls aren't configured correctly, right? Any hole into their network, if they want to look at that as a capability, and they also then want to test their wired network for troubleshooting issues and their wireless network for troubleshooting issues, you can start with the cyber scope bang in the middle of the screen there as an all-encompassing tool. If they're not too concerned about cybersecurity from a network edge standpoint, and they're just looking at wireless implementation, they're doing a wireless refresh, they need to have a continued wireless infrastructure running 100% of the time with some important infrastructure, they can just look at our wireless solution, which is the AirCheck G3. Okay, so that again can be used for passive and active site surveys to produce heat maps. And then we will do everything to looking at 2.4 and 5 bands and 6 band gigahertz as well, and all of the individual channels. And then you can also measure your connectivity as well. So which access points, what's roaming looking like. You can do packet analysis and retries as well. So we're giving you a full view of your wireless network and how is that running and operating from the end user standpoint. So if there are any connectivity issues, your customer or your own engineers can, point the finger away from it actually being the wireless network and pinpoint exactly what issues are interfering on the wireless network. So another important part of that is spectrum analysis that we have in our tools as well. So a lot of people will use maybe Ekahau. I'm sure you guys have heard of those guys for pre-planning and implementation. Well, a lot of our businesses that we work with will use Ekahau, and then they'll use AirCheck G3 to validate those Wi-Fi networks that they've installed, again, across multiple different wireless vendors, especially with Ubiquiti as well. We do a lot of joint events with Ubiquiti. We share some great success stories with Ubiquiti as well. The last event being in London in the UK at Mercedes-Benz World. So we drove some fast cars, but we showed the extra availability we add to their unified platform, and came away with some positive opportunities and projects off the back of that. But then just moving to the wired side again onto the left-hand side of the screen. Very small tool, Link Sprinter. A lot of telecom businesses use these. Copper tester, plug and play. Green, your connection's good. Yellow, there's some connectivity issues. Go into Link Live to see what those may be. And red, connection, there's a fault. You can't join, so there's an issue. But pocket tester, about $500 list price. So very good entry point to a quick connectivity test on the wired side. Then we move into, the Link Runner 3000 and 4000. These are our copper and fiber testers. And I'll demonstrate some of the tests we can do slightly later on in the presentation, sorry. But again, these are going to be your network visibility, So locating all of your clients on the wired side, locating all of your switches, your servers, ports. Again, the list goes on. You can do that from the connection on a link runner 3000 and 4000. And then, as the name suggests, link runner 10 gig does 10 gig throughput testing, 10 gig connectivity testing. And then we have in the middle again the ether scope. So wireless and wired together, minus cybersecurity, and then cyberscope, everything together with cybersecurity. And then, yes, cyberscope air, which is all of the wireless stuff, no wired with cybersecurity. So again, really segmenting different projects and different price points for any situations that may arise for you and your customers. So really good attachment sale to network refreshing, especially on the wireless side with access points being implemented. You know, we are an insurance policy for you and your customers to make sure that infrastructure that's being installed continues to work, can be continued to be validated. And yeah, you and your customer have peace of mind that you can troubleshoot a dodgy network, because yeah, there's many problems on a network. So we just make it easy and quick and simple to locate those problems as well. So we have Air Magnet Survey Pro. That is the direct competitor to kind of Hermina, Wireless, and Ekahau. It's our pre-planning software. But again, I think Ekahau and Hermina do really well in that space. So I would, stick to the AirCheck G3 to do on-site surveys, passive and active. And once that pre-mapping's been done by those guys, use the AirCheck to, again, validate and troubleshoot once the network's been installed. But we do have the option to do pre-planning as well. And we do actually integrate with Hermina's platform now, really smoothly. So all of our test results from the AirCheck G3 import into Hermina planning, and give the customer and yourself some great results there too. So this is just a little bit on what the screen looks like on the tool, but I am going to show you that live. So I'll skip through this quite quickly. But again, we have auto test, and it gives you, as you can see there, really quick information at a click of a button. But I will show you guys. It's a little bit of a click through. I have explained this to you as well. Technician is on site with a tester. Testing goes up into the cloud platform, and then the centralized reports can be analyzed, and issues can be solved very quickly through that process. If you have MOD customers or customers that don't want to use a cloud platform, this can also be installed as a private software download as well to keep within GDPR guidelines. And yeah, private networks, not an issue. And this is just Ally Care. So that we offer, of course, 24/7 technical support. We also continue to upgrade our tools from a software link live standpoint. So yeah, recently now looking at wireless 7 testing and troubleshooting has just been put into our wireless G3 tool. And again, if there are any breakages on the tool, we'll actually do a unit as well. So it is the hardware warranty to our tools too. So reoccurring revenue for you guys, but 1 year, 2 year, 3 year renewal contracts available. And again, it's the hardware warranty, technical support, and software updates. So pretty important and a must-have for our tools. Another good point on this is all of our tools actually include 1 year free as well. So really, yeah, customer friendly on that point. But why partner with us? Look, minimal competition. We are complementary to all of your other networking vendors that you sell. Again, I want to hit home that we are selling an extra layer of visibility to the current tools that you use. We are being a full-on network vendor agnostic network testing troubleshooting tool. So again, covering wired, wireless, and cyber all in one key area. So if your customers are using Ekahau, we're complementary to validating what Ekahau has told them. If they use Fluke Networks to certify their cabling, we can then be there once the certifier's walked off site and there's issues to continue to troubleshoot and validate that wired network afterwards. We're just providing constant 24/7 live network visibility to, be an insurance policy. If there's any issues on your network, we'll be able to give so much information to you and your engineers that you can pinpoint exactly where those issues are and solve those problems at a few clicks of a button with our handheld tools, which again I'll show you very, very shortly as well. Look, we're 100% channel. So we have resellers, we have distribution, and we have us. We have a internal sales team that would love to do some account mapping, I'm sure, with you in the future. But any deal that we cultivate and find will always go to a channel partner that we're working closely and proactively with. So I'd love to, have some kind of follow-on meetings, hopefully from the back of this, and discuss how we can be proactive together and support each other, working with channel. So yeah, fully channel focused, no direct business, which is great. So just on kind of where do we sit, who uses us? It's everybody with a network, right? Everyone has critical infrastructure. Everyone's moving to wired and wireless networks, more to the wireless side now as well. They have key kind of point of sale operations in retail areas. Telecoms are using our tools actually commercially for installing wireless in homes, but also running massive trade shows and events as well to make sure that the network has no downtime. And then financial institutions too, right? Critical infrastructure. They need to stay connected to transact business constantly. And then healthcare as well, right? Literally critical infrastructure that's keeping people alive in hospitals as well. Important information that can't be lost through network downtime. So any kind of section of customer, any vertical, we are paramount in. And yeah, we want to explore those opportunities further with you. And I've got some slides on some certain user cases to cover in a second. But yeah, look, this is UK and Ireland. We've got all of the big telecoms on here, all of the big health, education, universities, all of the key retail partners. Yeah, we're a best kept secret. So we would love to expand into the Netherlands and the Belgium key areas as well. But again, huge end users in the DACH region, and the same with Benelux too. So yeah, key verticals, universities, energy, telecom, government and Ministry of Defence, and yeah, retail, everywhere, which is great. So kind of moving on very quickly to some case studies. Look, large venue testing. We've had quite a lot of these now. So we actually were utilised in the Rugby World Cup in France, and also the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and that will also be the case for the World Cup coming up in America as well. So our wireless tools were deployed across all of the fan zones and stadiums during these large sporting events. They were used to manage that network, make sure that there was no connectivity issues, to make sure all access points were connected, that the roaming heat maps were key, and that the key infrastructure, even down to like referees staying connected during the live broadcasting of the events, right? You can't afford to have downtime. You need to stay connected. You need networks performance to be reliable. And if there is an issue, can be proactively discovered and troubleshooted effectively. So yeah, the AirCheck G3 and copper tester was implemented across all of those large sporting events, and we actually continue to now support things like the PGA Tour in golf as well, and the Six Nations that's currently on too. I mentioned I was also at the beginning of the call at Cisco Live in Amsterdam at the RIA Centre, and again the Cisco network team were also utilising our AirChecks to manage the gigahertz and the channels during that event, and actually also to locate everybody bringing in rogue access points to try and spin up their own network, because we actually do have a discovery application on our tools that you can physically locate rogue access points behind walls, in ceilings, or in people's backpacks. So they were using that to target rogue devices as well. So yeah, really good kind of broad user case across live events that are happening. We also do that in the financial services. So we had Euro options in France. They were typically actually just moving into a new location they were spinning up 5 new offices with multiple floors that they were actually installing Ubiquiti wireless network infrastructure into. So the engineering team again needed to validate the infrastructure that they were installing across these 5 sites, and hundreds of floors that they were moving into. So they purchased a hefty number of, again, AirCheck G3s, our wireless planning, validation and troubleshooting tool. Just to give you an idea, the revenue for the partner was kind of around $300,000 list price as well. So not just one engineer, one user case, one office. This really did expand out into their whole kind of engineering wireless team and task force to bring some good revenue to the additional Ubiquiti kit that they had already sold. So really good insurance policy to validate the network infrastructure they were installing on site. Mentioned MOD, cybersecurity, vulnerability assessments. So we've integrated Nmap into our tools. So vulnerability scripts can be run at a click of a button. You can save these vulnerability scripts to target specific targets on the network, but also the discovery piece of our tool as well. So we have a number of Ministry of Defence units across the globe, most recently actually being large MOD, again, $1 million worth, right, close to, of our tools. And again, they're using these to be in their armored vehicles to troubleshoot and spin up quick networks kind of live in multiple locations or in battlefield if needed. But our devices, again, can be used for many different things, from just the network that they're setting up and validating on a copper fiber side of things, to scanning these networks for any Bluetooth devices or any rogue wireless devices, listening devices, camera devices, right? These devices are used for, again, full network discovery, full network mapping and location finding on site, and again, testing, troubleshooting and analysis. So again, quite an important part of our toolkit, again, is hitting all of those key 3 areas, not just being a cable tester or a wireless tester, site survey tool. We can kind of package it all into one to be a very versatile device for customers. Where else do we come in? Remote locations. So very, very popular with, British Petroleum and in Norway for vessels that are traveling across seas, or even oil rigs as well. It's expensive to get an engineer out if there's a technical fault. So you can simply send our device to a less skilled engineer who can run tests on site and again, send that information back to the management team. Another piece of our tools is you can actually remote into our tools from Link Live and actually have them plugged in, so they charge over PoE. So if you're looking at the wired side of the portfolio, you can actually remote in and run discovery, run tests, whatever you want from a remote location without an engineer even managing the tool as well. So different user cases, different ideas, and this is used for oil rigs and vessels across the globe as well. But you could even just use that as a services, right? You don't want to send a special engineer or an expensive engineer out, so you can send our tool out to get a good base and overview of the network too. That is kind of, to be honest, the best part of some user cases. Is there any questions before I go on to the live demo? Don't be shy.
None from us.
No problem. Cool. So let's go into a little bit more actually what I do. I know I'm talking about what we do, but proofs in the pudding. So let's go over here. And everyone see again?
Yeah.
Perfect. So look, we mentioned simplicity. This is the wireless tool, which again is very, very popular with Ubiquiti partners, Ekahau partners, any wireless infrastructure partners are selling our tool as a kind of insurance policy to continue to validate wireless network infrastructure once it's been implemented and put in place. So we want to make that simple. And how do we do that? Well, first thing, it's a Android-based, application-based tool. So it doesn't take the brightest minds to operate. It's very clearly defined of what each application does. and only if it takes a few clicks of a button to get instant results and essentially give you an instant health check live on site from a client point of view of the wireless network. And what is that information? What does it look like? So it's called auto test, and we're actually connected into our Colorado Spring lab in the US, but you can see we're connected to their 5G network. We know the exact SSID. We actually know the security. We're going to get roaming information if that was valid. We actually know the exact access point that we're connected to, the BSSID. We're getting channel information straight off the bat. You can start to look at signal strength, noise, SNR, the utilization, 802.11, etc. Then you get your packets and retries and your kind of utilization rates as well. Again, all from a click of a button. So making it really, really easy for network engineers to walk on site, connect straight away. Outside of that, you can then break that down further on, look at that specific channel in more detail. And again, we're just simply clicking through. So from, again, a click of a button, we're on channel 40. I can then see the multiple SSIDs. And then we can actually look directly at what access points are connected to that channel as well. And also the clients that are connected to that channel. So if you're having connectivity issues, you're going to start to be able to really kind of find those very, very quickly, again, live on site at a click of a few buttons. And then you can simply just go back if you're done exploring that kind of key area. Again, look at that specific access point again in more detail if you want. And we're going to give you IP and MAC address information again as well. And then, yeah, DHCP information, DNS information. We're going to give you gateway information as well. So the routers. And we can then start to do things like the ping test as well. So how quickly, what is the threshold, the results, the connectivity time. So very, very quick overview of your wireless network from a click of a button, where you can then break that down in a little bit more detail and start to, as I mentioned, see all the channels operating. So is there any specific channel interference? Is there any specific channel overlap? Again, we're going to be able to see that very, very quickly. And again, this is vendor agnostic. So if there's multiple access points, multiple vendors, we're going to be able to see that. We're going to be able to manage that. And you're going to be able to see how these channels are operating within your wireless network. And again, if you wanted to look at that in more detail, you can quickly and easily start to see. And we don't just kind of have that information in front of you. We do actually describe what the problem may be and give a recommendation to fix the wireless connectivity issues that you're having as well. So look, engineers, yourselves, probably pretty clever, probably have an idea of what you're looking for and what you're looking at. But in any case, we can still suggest what the issue is. So yeah, utilization is exceeding 40%, lots of traffic. How can you fix that? How do you do that? Well, there's not one key answer, but we're going to give you a rough idea, give customers a rough idea on what they can do and how they can do that as well, which is fantastic. We also like to look at spectrum information, so external factors of a network, which again, you might not be getting with your management platform. So we'll actually give real-time live spectrum analysis and frequency analysis, all again in this handheld tool on site. A good example of this, we had a office, a client of ours, that their Wi-Fi would drop out between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. every single day. All of the management platforms that they utilized said that their access points were getting enough PoE, that all the antennas were producing a good enough heat map and a good enough roaming capabilities. So connectivity shouldn't have been a problem. But 9 and 10 every day, there was interference, clients would drop, they couldn't connect. So they had to use spectrum analysis. And what they found was these steel elevators coming up and down into the floor when people were arriving to work, going to meetings, was what was interfering with the wireless network. A big metal box, right? Who would have thought it? But again, their management platforms were saying everything's connected, everything's okay. It was this external factor. So again, we're giving that extra layer of visibility to what customers and what yourselves already have We want to be complementary and help you solve problems quickly and easily. So look, this is a very, very short, high-level overview demo of what we can do. There is other kind of key areas that we manage. Let's have a look in AirMapper as well. So look, passive and active site surveys to produce heat maps for customers too. So this again can be used in conjunction with Accountmanager, in conjunction with EMEA, in conjunction with Ruckus planning, in conjunction with all of these other vendors planning. But again, we've got 2 tri-band antennas built into our tool, so very powerful. So you can do passive and active surveys, import your floor plan, do the walk, collect the data from the access points, and then in Link Live, I will fly over. You're going to get your heat map. You're going to start to see where the access points are, who they are, what they are, where you've walked, start to see signal, noise information, co-channel interference. Again, all of this information to be able to pinpoint if you've got any issues and if you need to, change the wireless network, or if there's any interference, what is that interference? We even go so far to then start to discover things like Bluetooth devices, probing clients themselves, passive scans, and then again, if I click here, all of that good stuff that you typically want to see to be able to manage an effective wireless network. So again, everything from the channel stuff that I showed you in here, to the site survey in here, to the quick just health check and auto test, to things like packet capture over here as well, and ping tests. Again, all in one tool to give you on-site, real-time information to then utilize with the other management platforms that you have. And again, the big part, discovery, visibility. I've mentioned it a lot, very, very key. So at the same time as that auto test running, it's running all of those discovery protocols that I mentioned earlier. And you can start to see, look, I'm getting all the client devices, I'm getting access points, I'm getting everything. But then that spins over to here. So a network topology map. So really valuable information to where is everything connected? What is it? Should it be there? Is it running properly? So do I have any issues on my network? So we can see that's yellow. Okay, I have some problems. I need to effectively go and fix whatever that issue is, right? So yeah, visibility, massively key. How can I protect what I can't see? How can I fix what I can't see? So again, extra layer of visibility to the wireless vendors that you're probably using and managing with. And I know that's quite messy and there's a lot of tools there, but look, we break it down quite clearly as an inventory kind of page as well. So again, you're going to get the MAC address, you're going to get the name of the device. You can start to see the device client, device type. So we'll segment that to you. So is it a router? Is it a server? Is it a firewall, a switch, etc.? IP address information. If there is any problems, what those problems are. We then actually give you VLAN information too. So all the VLANs operating. So we're peeling back the layers of connectivity. The list goes on. Look, nearest switch information, which is obviously very, very important as well. So again, really just trying to find out, is my connection good from start to end and in between? How can I fix this problem quickly? And again, that can be used with our wireless tools, or if you have the tool that does all of wired and wireless, right? Here's the wired side again, auto test, very, very quick and easy speed test, duplex information. We can see we've got a good connection. Then again, the VLAN information again right here, click of a button. We do have PoE information if you're looking at the copper side of things, but look, port and switch information. So we're giving you nearest switch, and then we actually peel back the layers as well. So it's not just that first switch, we'll go further to see again how you're mapped out. And as we showed before, DHCP, DNS, TCP. Here we go. Lots of additional stuff here, along with just plain cable test too. So if this wasn't plugged into a switch, we'd show you the layers of the cable. If it's twisted, if there's cuts, if there's breakages, we do still do basic cable testing. as well on our tools. But again, we do Lambert testing, so end-to-end testing. Am I actually getting 10 gig through? Is it only operating at 1? I don't know. You can do that. And again, the discovery from a wide side of things too. So yeah, lots in our tools, lots of added information to the management platforms that you guys are using already. You know, simple performance test as well, peer-to-peer testing. So yeah, look, I've been talking a lot. I feel like I've given a good enough overview, some user cases, kind of where we fit, what we do. So yeah, that is me done. But I'm open to questions. So yeah, please have some questions for me.
I see a question here in the chat. Is there a subscription needed to use the AirCheck G3 device?
No, so that Link Live cloud platform that I showed you is included with all of our devices.
Yeah.
We just need to have it renewed so the topology map is like an additional or advanced feature. So
Yeah.
Ally Care would be used for topology mapping, but it will still do all of your classic wireless testing, troubleshooting, and validation. It will still do all of the site survey and heat mapping as well. It's mainly for the hardware warranty we need Ally Care for, and obviously the software updates as well. So again, we're vendor agnostic. If a new kind of AP antenna pattern comes out and it needs to be upgraded and put into our new software, and it is, then again, we'd want you to have Ally Care for that new version of Link Live, right?
Yeah.
But no, the base tool and all of the features that I showed you, bar topology mapping. So yeah, standard, it would be fine without it. No subscription needed. We include Link Live.
So only the topology mapping is something you get with the Ally Care.
Correct.
Okay. There's another question.
Oh, sorry. I'll share a PDF as well, actually, on the differences between having Ally Care and not Ally Care as well, just to make it extremely clear after the meeting as well.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
No problem.
Question here: can you show some functionality of the cybersecurity part of the devices?
Yes, I can. I hope so. Let's hope it's set up. I've just find the Cyberscope tool in our demo pool. Okay, yeah. Okay. So the cybersecurity part of the tool, yes. So I mentioned very briefly earlier, it is done through Nmap. So Nmap is a free-to-use software solution, right, that people use on a laptop. But the problem with Nmap is not everybody's an Nmap kind of guru or wizard, shall we say. There's many different scripts for many different vulnerability assessments and targets. So it can be quite complicated to, I guess, have that portfolio of scripts that you need to use, right? So we have made an application that I'll show you in the tool where we have a library of all of these Nmap vulnerability scripts pre-saved and also just pre-named to be easier to use, so you know what you're scanning for. And then we can also run these scripts. So actually, I'll share my screen again now. Here you go. So this is the Cyberscope. So again, to make clear, the Cyberscope can do everything on the wireless tool that I showed you, everything on the wired tool. So part of the cybersecurity messaging is that topology map, is that visibility bit that I showed you. And then yes, with Nmap, it will be vulnerability scanning, so network edge vulnerability assessments. So you can see in here, we have tons of Nmap scripts already pre-saved, already pre-named. You can actually write your own scripts or import additional scripts from Link Live as well. But again, it's to save time with Nmap in application form to do these vulnerability assessments. So there was the Terrapin attack, a certain Cisco switch that had an old operating system. So there was a vulnerability scan that you could do. We called it Terrapin. There it is. So for network managers, They did the network discovery. They located all of those specific switches, and then at a click of a button, they managed to find out which ones were vulnerable and then go remediate that issue through, again, a few clicks of a button. So it wasn't manual. They didn't have to find every switch on site physically. With our tool, they managed to do it, in a few minutes time, which made their infrastructure a lot more secure. Another user case that we had from using Mmap as well was the operating system. So we were actually demoing this at a partner with a warehouse, and we did the discovery, and we actually located a printer in their warehouse running Windows 7, I believe it was. So huge loophole into the rest of the network. It was still connected. And again, through a click of a couple of buttons, we managed to find that through an Mmap vulnerability scan and the classic discovery that we have in all of our tools. So we stopped the demo and went and did that. With regards to what reporting you get, I don't unfortunately have that in here. My demo with an EXG. But what it will show you is it will show you the scripts, and we highlight any vulnerability within the scripts to be read. So look, I'll make a note of what we actually show and what report we generate, and I'll share that as soon as possible to you guys. But we do highlight, no problem. We do highlight in red very, very clearly where that vulnerability is and what it is. We don't fix the problem. Again, we're giving you visibility, we're validating. So once you have the information from us, you go physically patch that vulnerability essentially, or remove that device from the tool. Which is great. Another key feature to the cybersecurity tools is what we call monitoring. So I showed you on here the discovery. Well, we actually go a step further with monitoring. So you have this snapshot, then you can take another snapshot, and we've integrated kind of a crossover. So you'll be able to see what was live on your environment at one point and then the next as well. So if you did have any network interference or a network breach, or something was slightly off, we will highlight again what the different devices were and how they were connected to give you an idea of, okay, maybe that was the issue, maybe that was the security problem. So again, that can be anything from somebody setting up a rogue access point, Raspberry Pi, or a rogue device that's connected into your network, or a rogue CCTV camera, for example. The list goes on. We will show the comparison of X, Y, and Z, so you can again locate that issue as quickly as possible. But again, the primary piece of cybersecurity and the vulnerability assessment is, again, like all of our tool, is to really save time and wrap it into what we do, and wrap it into an additional feature to the added visibility of the other tools that you may use. So SIEM solutions, very expensive, take a lot of workload to manage. Lots of agent software based data being used. So again, we're real time on site. That snapshot right there that you take with our device is what's valuable from a cybersecurity standpoint. Because of those discovery protocols that we use, we're not missing anything that software solutions sometimes miss through devices having old operating systems. So again, use all of the security tools that you currently have, but we are on site, real time, live, snapshot, bang. Okay, this is what we've got, this is where it is. How can we fix the problem or remove the problem? Validation, testing, troubleshooting, analysis is kind of our key messaging. I hope that answered your question in some way, and again, I'll get those reports for you so you can actually see those.
I think then the question is fully answered. I have another question here. What would you say is the best device for you installing Unified Network from your product stack?
So I think if you're going to cover everything and you're covering a wired installation along with the wireless access point installation, it's the Ethoscope 300, also known as the EXG 300. So that is your copper fiber up to 10 gig testing on the wired side. We have a SFP port as well for the fiber, And that does, your end-to-end testing, your PoE, your packet analysis, your packet capture. It does everything on the power throughput cable test side on wired. And then it has the 2 antennas up to Wi-Fi 7 to manage all of the wireless areas that we covered as well. So that is, going to give you a whole view of your network in all key areas, along with, access points at the end of the day, right, are connected by a cable and have power. So that's also a major fault that people kind of overlook sometimes. So we always recommend the EXG if you want a full coverage. But look, wireless itself, once that's been installed and you're just managing maybe the wireless portion and the on-site site survey and wireless troubleshooting is kind of the key area, then the AirCheck G3 as well is also very, very popular. So it depends what level of insurance you want to do and how many kind of, services you want to wrap in. Your customer or your customer wants to see. So Ethoscope always, but then the AirCheck just purely for wireless, I would say.
Yeah, great. I see here it's a double question. Can you show how to locate the source of an interference and or how to read the spectrum, and then connected to that, how is data kept up to date? So it's one, I think you explained it as being, it's at the time, so it doesn't update. Correct. It's just at that time, a map of what is happening at that moment. So if you want updated information, you will have to do the route again, or if you updated your wireless network, you have to walk your route again to see if it's still working the same as it was before.
That's correct. Yeah, it's an on-site tool. So especially with the spectrum analysis part, it's an antenna that you connect to the handheld tool, and you'll physically be there monitoring the spectrum analysis. I'm not a Wi-Fi engineer, so that graph, I don't know how to read it. But we do have engineers at NetAlly. So if you want a deeper technical demo, we'd be more than happy to do that alongside Wamood as well, who are going to be technically capable to help with that and to cover the tools in more detail.
Yeah, if there's enough questions, maybe we can set it up at a future moment. Any Definitely. More questions from the? Let's see. So also people asking. This is. They say they used to use fluke meters in the past, and sometimes Unify switches didn't show up in Discovery. But do you have the same problem with NetAlly or?
No, we don't. We'll discover that. And again, if there was something that didn't show, it would, we'd usually get that fired to our technical team, and we'll add it into the system. But again, the discovery protocols that we use and cover, we'll discover a full network. Ubiquity partners and Ubiquity customers haven't highlighted that to us. So.
Okay, that answers the question. I don't see any more questions in chat.
Okay, is it integrated?
There's another one integrated with Unify controller map.
So you can take our results and save them as a specific file, which I believe can then be uploaded into the Unify map as well. But I need to just verify that too, on what that process is and how that looks. Again, would be very, very nice feature if it's seamless, right? But again, good question. I'll find out exactly what that looks like. And get back to you guys. But again, we haven't had too much disparity of that not being a feature if it's not possible. Again, they've got their great portal and what they can use and utilize in Unify, and then with the additional information, tying the two together, it seems to be seems to be good.
Oh, here Tijdens is expanding on his question about the switches. He says that the VLAN information and port information wasn't showing up. But in NetAlly, it always shows up all the ports, all the VLAN information.
So for the most part, it can. There are some gaps here, and that's just going to be down to, I guess, the access that they ran the scan on. But again, if your customer should know how everything's connected, right? And I realise I'm not showing my screen as well. Should know that everything is connected. It should discover everything quite cleanly as well, and it should be able to put it all together. But I think you were referencing kind of some of that information missing there, right? So it's the way that you segment and do the subnet scanning. So again, once we get these tools on site, you can see there is plenty of that information there as well. So it is doable. Takes some manual work sometimes, depending on the subnet, but it's to a good standard. So yes, best tool that does it all, that is the Cyberscope at the top. So that has all of your Nmap, vulnerability scanning, and your visibility discovery. And again, it does copper fiber up to 10 gig, and it does wireless 7, site survey, troubleshooting, testing, validation, analysis.
So it's the Cyberscope is the all-in-one.
Correct. It's the all-in-one. It's not the lime green. We've made it kind of cool and mysterious by making it kind of blacked out. And it actually comes in a Pelican, like a military Pelican case as well, which is quite handy. Which again, the MOD actually really like that. We sold a number into, and they were very, very secretive, but they loved the Pelican case. They just ripped the NetAlly branding off the front. We met with about 8 engineers, and they turned up in blacked out cars with the blacked out case and the blacked out device, all with the same name as Kevin. So that was cool. But Cyberscope for everything, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that answers the last 2 questions about. So you don't need a Cyberscope Air for wireless. If you have the Cyberscope CE, that does everything, including wireless.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
all-encompassing powerful tool.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions. If there aren't any more, then I think we're going to wrap up the meeting, and then it is also recorded. So if you want anything to look at anything in the future, watch it back, we'll put it on our YouTube channel, and then you can just watch it. And if you want any more information, you can always reach out to us through email. And then thank you very much, Daniel, for the great information and the product stack. And I think it clears up a lot of questions we had on our side on how to use the products and when to implement which ones.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you for attending, everybody. Hope that was insightful, and look forward to working with you more in the future. So I'll get back to you on the questions that you had that I couldn't fully answer. But again, no, great session.
Yeah, then we'll put it in with the YouTube video. We'll put it in the comments or something like that, so the people, or we'll reach out to the people who still had the questions to give the answers. But I think more people would like the answers, so we'll put it probably in the description of the YouTube video or something like that.
Amazing.
Well, thank you very much, and have a great day, and looking forward to working with you some more.
Yes, likewise. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.